Alright, good evening everyone. It is August 20th, 2017, and I am Len Trippy coming in for the podcast of Raymory Talk with Rai. Hey, what's up, Rai?
Hey, what's up?
Okay, so today we're going to be covering, HistoryCon and APCC. The whole thing with Toku Spirits will be coming later because we're still gathering information on that. And maybe we'll be also covering what we find kind of in common with these two conventions and what might be happening lately with conventions themselves. But anyway, before we go on, I'd like to introduce Rai properly. Rai is our latest addition to our team. Where did you previously work?
I used to work. This is my first time in news blogs. So before this, I used to make video games.
All right, with the Unlibox, was it?
Yeah, there was Unlibox recently and Face Creative Studio before that. Both of them are gone now.
Such is the nature of trying to run a business. 9 out of 10 don't make it to 5 years. Alright, so you seem to have a fair share of game development knowledge and knowing how to review them. You mentioned a little while ago that you had this very interesting esports themed game that you wanted to talk about.
I just picked up this copy of a game called Great Esports Manager on Steam. It came out a few days ago. I picked it up because I don't know, it was really cheap. It was, I don't know, a few 300 pesos maybe. I forgot how much it was.
$5 maybe.
It had the words esports manager and Kim Jong-un's face. I had to try it out.
It was, I'm guessing it was Kim Jong-un that was the hook.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely Kim Jong-un. Okay, but you know, it's interesting. We have a lot of these sports manager games like Football Manager. We have like fantasy leagues for basketball, football, and what have you. So esports being a very recent thing, we don't get a lot of stuff like that yet. So right now what I'm seeing is very early takes at creating simulation games for esports. And I do think it's very ripe for exploration. So, I decided to try it out to see what ideas they have pertaining specifically for esports.
Okay.
And it was, the game was kind of disappointing.
You were disappointed by Kim Jong-un's great esports team?
I beat Kim Jong, great esports team. That's the problem. I thought I'd be running the North Korean esports team where failure would mean my death, but no. This is more of like a plucky underdog story, where I live in an obscure island nation as a gamer.
Oh, okay.
And like, I'm found in this internet cafe by this Korean dude with no hands, basically saying, "You've got talent. I'm gonna train you into an esports star and build a team around you."
Why does he have no hands?
Oh, because he was the world's greatest esports player. And Kim Jong-un does not like being number 2. So
he's off with your hands.
yeah, he got his soldiers to run to this guy's place, spirit him away, and then chop off his hands. Thereby setting Kim Jong-un at the top spot of the esports ladder. So your whole thing is like building and training an esports team to win competitions, first locally and then regionally and then worlds, where the climactic battle is between you and Kim Jong-un.
But you can't beat Kim Jong-un because he's gonna sick you with soldiers and cut off your hands. Oh my god. Your game is to. The objective is to almost win.
No, you actually do beat Kim Jong Un in the end, despite his efforts to like get one over you. He has this superpower thing going on. It's pretty crazy. I'll probably skip the spoilers though, but yeah, it's North Korea, so there are nukes involved, and yeah, no, fuck the endings. I'll talk about it. It's
No, it's fine. Just save it for the reviews.
The climactic battle is Kim Jong Un threatening to nuke the world. So you have to beat him in esports, so you can hack the system and stop the missiles from launching.
Like, this is great B movie material.
Yeah, and it kind of makes sense. You're hacking it, and you're a great esports star, so your actions per second are over the top or something. I don't know.
You have to beat me in League of Legends, or else I will nuke the world. That is the. I can't tell what's a worse way to swap the world. Alright.
Yeah,
Okay, so
oh shit, that's high level swatting, right? Like,
yeah, just
these kids, they swat your fucking not know your paths.
all right. So,
It's like, stop
and
you guys.
what did you find interesting, or like other than the setting? Was how did you find the game as it played out?
Okay, the game itself was interesting, or the idea of it was interesting. So you're tasked with the job of building and leading an esports team. So a lot of that has to do with recruitment. So you start out with recruiting players. Each player has 4 stats. So in this game, there are only 4 kinds of esports stats: first-person shooter, real-time strategy, MOBA, and fighting games. So your recruits have different stats for each kind of competitive game, but you can actually just build all of them if you want, if you have the time and resources for it. There's a lot of humor in this game. I mean, if it's not obvious yet, you're facing off against Kim Jong Un esports, right? There's a lot of humor in it. A lot of the esports characters you pick up in this game are parodies of very famous esports personalities and YouTubers. So my best FPS player right now is actually a parody of PewDiePie.
Oh, this. So it sounds pretty fun and interesting. Activities. What activities are like? What, streaming?
Sorry.
What are the activities like? What? You train them? You stream with them? What?
Oh yeah. So apart from the 4 stats of these characters, there's building your equipment, right? You have to make money to build up your equipment. Like, you start out with a really crappy PC and very crappy training equipment. So actually, apart from having to train your characters, these characters also have to make a living. So apart from participating in tournaments, these characters can be used to stream games. So you have this house. It's your esports house, where actually I don't think it looks like a house. It looks like a sweatshop, because the insides, it's like the windows have bars and everything. So it's really very normal. So yeah, this game makes use of a lot of visual humor. So
Alright.
yeah,
so if you're looking for
we have YouTubers, the training facilities. So that's funny. In this game, all esports are VR related. So all of your training is in VR. So if you're an FPS player, your training facility is a VR fighting range. If you're an RTS player, your training is swinging a sword around while juggling things with your feet, which I guess means you're fighting shit and micromanaging things on the side. It's
Sounds
pretty
about
hardcore.
right. Sounds about right. Okay. So wait, is this a PC game only?
Yeah, it's PC only.
Ah, okay.
So, which is weird, but I'll get to that after. So there's also the punching bags for like the fighting games, and best joke of the game, your training facility for MOBA players are golden toilets. You sit, your characters wear a VR headset, sit and shit on a toilet. That is MOBA training.
So you're training to be like the best shitter, best at dropping a shit.
Yeah.
I guess that means toxic, maybe, probably.
Yeah, so in my maxed out game, I have an entire floor lined with toilets. And yeah, very, what's the term for it? Very shallow humor, you know. There's a lot of, yeah, toilet jokes. You know, you drop a player on a toilet, there's farting sounds, like, oh my god. I should not be laughing at this. This is so stupid, but okay, fine, I'll buy it.
Okay.
So apart from like just building their stats, you do have to juggle things around like their health. If you work them too hard, they get sick. I have not actually tried getting someone sick on purpose yet. But yeah, when their energy is low, you kind of want to put them to bed to recharge. Also, if you train them too hard, they have this stat called ego, where your ego drops, and if it gets too low, then your character loses the will to play games and gives up. So there's a way to counteract ego from dropping and them to stream online. So by streaming online, you make money and ego goes up, but you don't want egos going too high up. Otherwise, they'll feel like they're too good for your team and leave.
You know, this is starting to sound
actually,
These are very precise stabs at the esports scene. To be honest, very precise.
Yeah. If I were to like consider like anything of this game, I guess like as a game, not the humor. I mean, there was a lot of jokes there. I didn't like most of them, but you know, if I were just to look at this as like what I wanted to look at it as a management game, a sports management game, the ego stat was very unique. I have not seen that in any other sports management game ever, and it's kind of perfect for esports.
Yeah, gotta agree. All right, so wait, are you planning to write a review about this?
Oh yeah, I'm working on it right now. Hopefully I'll get it over in a week, because I have maybe 2 or 3 more games to review after this.
I'm so sorry. By the way, guys, Rai is also helping me review games because I simply don't have the time to play everything. Plus, I don't have a great PC yet. So there.
I take all the.
Sorry?
Yeah.
Can you say that again?
I take all the shit you want to take. Well, no, you told me a few. Right, you gave me Tekken. I'm happy for that. Thank you.
I'm not. He made me sound like I'm being lazy, but okay, maybe I am being lazy because sometimes. You know what? Playing dungeon crawler JRPGs, like 3 of them in a row, that kind of burns you out, man.
No, I know. I have to go through Agents of Mayhem soon. How was that, by the way? You were able to stream that the other night.
Agents of Mayhem. You know, it's very Saints Row-y in terms of how the engine works. There are, so far I have like access to 7 characters within an hour, and ability. There's a progression system as well with getting your abilities improved. But it's, I guess, the easiest, most relatable way to put it, because I don't want to make this one long. It's basically a single player Overwatch with Saints Row humor, but not too toilety. However,
Not
yeah, not too much toilet humor.
all right.
But you scramble in teams of 3, but you never
I'm
really.
okay with that because
Yeah?
really I'm okay with toilet humor. I've had enough toilet humor for one game.
It's
Uh,
it's basically a parody
yeah.
on GI Joe. When if you
oh, that worked. That
Well-
might work for me.
yeah, it's pretty on the nose about what it says, what it tries to do. Unfortunately, like for the team mechanics, which doesn't really exist, I hope it would have been better. But basically, you're just switching between characters like Trine, I guess, where Hero A can do task X and Hero B can do task Y, kind of thing.
Well, it's interesting, I guess. I don't know. I guess I'm kind of excited about trying it out. So maybe sometime this week I can open it up and give it a try.
Okay, yeah. So far, like 2 or 3 hours in, yeah, you have. There's a lot to do in the game. It's like, I would describe it like I normally would, by mashing up several game titles, and then somehow make that's supposed to make sense. Like it's like Assassin's Creed wandering around and doing tasks with Trine mechanics about swapping people out with Overwatch visuals and setting, but in a very goofy manner that's used in the with a setting similar to GI Joe / Avengers, made by the people that made Saints Row. There, that's how I describe it. I don't know if that makes sense for other people, but I hope it helps them. All right, I guess that's enough for the kind of hook for the rest of our content. Today we'll be discussing at least 2 conventions, and HistoryCon, which our good pal here, Rai, was able to cover. What can you tell us about HistoryCon?
You know what? I really do not like going to conventions.
What's that?
Like, really don't. I used to go to a bunch of them like back in 2008, maybe 2007. And I don't know, after a couple of conventions, I just felt like it was the same thing over and over. You go there are a bunch of stores, a bunch of cosplayers.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of goes on after a while, and you start noticing it's the same cosplayers in another show wearing the same thing. It's the same exhibitors, it's the same stores doing the same thing. Where, you know what, it's 2017 and getting around the city, it is complete hell. Like, it's worse now than
ever.
Ever, right? But it's been pretty bad, especially with the weather right now, all the raining, the traffic.
Oh yeah, people were like stranded recently thanks to the rain.
Oh yeah, I was driving through flood last night. So yeah, there's the lack of Uber, so it's hell, right? And I live like really far away. I live at the fringes of Manila. I don't even think I'm part of the NCR anymore. So going and are really far away. Usually takes me like 2 hours, 3 hours to get to those venues, right?
Mm-hmm.
Only that, like, it's the same-ish stuff.
Okay, yeah, you go to a convention, different name, same things, basically.
Yeah, same things. And I plunked out, 250 pesos for the ticket, and then maybe 50 to 100 pesos on parking if I bring a car and the gas to get there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like it's not worth the investment because there's not much to do there. Honestly, the only reason I show up to cons, or the only reason I've been showing up in cons recently, is because of work. Like, my last few cons were Denki Megatech, ESGS, and I forget what else. But the only reason I was there was for work. The last studio I worked for was promoting their games, so we actually booked booths for these events.
Okay.
If it were not for those, I would probably have skipped these things entirely. But yeah, I went to HistoryCon for work. Yeah, because
Still work, yeah.
yeah. So I went to HistoryCon for work because we had passes. It's totally not our wheelhouse, but you know, we were invited, so why not, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? It was pretty good. I mean, yeah, definitely. Maybe because it wasn't like a weeb convention or something. It wasn't gaming focused. It wasn't anime or comics related or anything. Where maybe the organizers had more leeway to showcase more, right? We're not just about cosplay, so we can give you cars. We're not just about history. The History Channel just covers a lot of stuff. They do stuff like antiques, cars, traveling, what else? Yeah, I have no idea what else. Just
It's okay.
But you know, I was there and I was blown away by the stuff they had there. They had like really nice cars on those. I've been, you know, it's not a thing I go to regularly, but I like looking at nice cars. They had antiques, like really neat vintage motorcycles, bikes, furniture, an entire booth of Coca-Cola memorabilia with jukeboxes, lampshades.
Oh wow, that sounds
Miniature.
like something to see. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like since when? Like their very first public materials. Like was it 1950?
I have no idea when these came out, but they were pretty. And I have a thing for Coke. I have like a shelf of cans and bottles on display at home. So, yeah, it was really nice to look at. And, you know, what else was there? There were swords. So many swords.
I heard people could try it out. Could actually try to slice like inanimate objects with it.
Oh, no. Well, yeah. There was this one section of the convention where I think a local club of European martial arts were exhibiting and teaching anyone how to use like a broadsword or something. I didn't find that. I kind of wanted to see someone fight with broadswords, but I totally missed that. I heard saw it though, and it was pretty neat.
Okay.
What I did though were like the kart races outside. There were airsoft firing ranges, which I got to try out and show off a bit.
Show off a bit.
Yeah.
Kind of good. Modest, very modest, right?
Yeah. No. I aim to make this my trade, so I have to step up. So maybe I'll save that for another time. Anyway, apart from the ranges for the customers, there was actually an invitational tournament for airsoft teams around the country.
Mm-hmm.
So HistoryCon actually put together this makeshift arena right outside the venue where their parking lot was supposed to be.
Okay.
They had shanties. They had water barrels placed all over the area, and yeah, they'd have and there was a tournament between all major airsoft teams from Manila. So these guys were dressed up in their gear, matching gear. It's I've not seen airsoft teams dress so coordinated. I don't know. I haven't been to airsoft in a while, but like it was pretty badass seeing like entire teams dressed the same way, and all of their pretty guns and stuff, which I kind of felt for a little bit.
What felt?
I got shot a lot.
A lot. Were they aiming for you?
No. It was in the name of getting footage for our site.
Well,
I had to get really close to the arena to take videos. So I was at the line of fire of these people, and the only thing between me and them was this net, right? Imagine like the kind of nets people use in driving ranges for golf. I don't know, to catch the balls.
Oh, okay. So it's like a fish net.
Yeah, it's kind of like a fish net, but you have to remember, the pellets of these guns are really small, and the measurable things for the nets, they weren't that small. Like those pellets could pass through easy, so I got pelted really hard.
Ouch. Okay. Did they apologize or something?
No, I kind of just joked about it. I mean, I used to play airsoft, so I got pelted a lot. It's been a while, so I kind of let out a small yelp. Just one. Ow!
You weren't expecting it at the very least.
Yeah. I thought that net could catch the pellet. Apparently, some blew past through. Oh well. It wasn't that bad. I didn't get hit in the face. Like,
right.
I was worried about getting hit in the eyes or something, but it was fine. It was a fun game too. It wasn't just a deathmatch thing. They had like a rescue the VIP kind of thing, where one side would defend the other without trying to kill the VIP. It was interesting.
Yeah,
I miss playing airsoft.
It was okay to kill you, apparently, but yes. Anyway, all right. I do have a question though. A lot of these activities, like these outdoor activities, I don't think they're that much related to HistoryCon. Like, HistoryCon is like what the auctioneer guys. I think they have like choppers like for motorbikes, which kind of makes sense with the car show, but not so much with
Yeah, but
go-kart.
here's the thing. History Channel does cover a very broad spectrum of topics where I could totally see like
Yo, hello? Did Drydex die?
ancient aliens.
Wait, okay, I think you're getting cut.
So they have ancient aliens, they have what's her name? Jamie Dempsey traveling the world on a motorcycle. We have people customizing cars. We have people digging for antiques, that kind of stuff. Where there's even this show about like blacksmiths, right? A competition for blacksmiths, which explains like the severe amount of swords in this con. There's so many swords.
Nobody's gonna get tired of seeing like badass swordsmen.
Yeah. So really, the way the History Channel brand, the History Channel brand is very broad. So I think they were fully able to leverage that by showing off like the breadth of material the convention had on offer. And it was interesting because there was a lot more shit to do for visitors than walk around, gawk at the cosplayers, and buy shit. Like,
so yes.
I saw a family like leave their 7-year-old daughter at the firing range and watch the kid shoot rifles. So,
sounds like a great family bonding event.
Family bonding through firearms.
Can't think of a better way.
I know. So, Yeah, I mean,
All
this
right.
coming really does not enjoy going to these things anymore. I had a great time.
Well, it looks like HistoryCon actually did a pretty great job of putting together a pretty nice show. I use the word pretty a
Oh yeah,
lot. Anyway, uh, all right. Well, off with then with what has already passed. Good on HistoryCon for putting together a rather impressive showing. So we'll just go over the schedule,
oh,
just to see, and then we'll just comment on what we know, or maybe inform whoever's listening as to what they are, in case they don't understand what it is.
oh, sure, sure.
All right.
What do we have left?
All right. So the first thing that we notice is that Friday has basically nothing happening. Like, it's just got autograph going on. Like, that's kind of what the fuck.
That's kind of messed up. I mean, sign me to Friday. No, I kind of volunteered for Friday, and there's nothing happening.
Well,
I kind of regret signing up for the Friday coverage.
all right. In fairness, just so that you, we decided these days beforehand, and APCC just released this schedule like 2 hours ago. So
I know. I may negotiate like a rescheduling. No, let's not talk about work here.
okay.
Yeah, so yeah, Friday's kind of a dud. I mean, if all you're in for is like to take the sites in, buy stuff, maybe get autographs from uh, 3 celebrities. That's Jason Freeney, Simone Legno, and Gaku Space, which is Genji. They'll be
Genji!
they'll be available for autograph signings on Friday, and that's about everything Friday will offer you.
Okay, so moving on to Saturday, August 26th. The first item makes my eyes bulge out. Like, is this for real? APCC opening with ABS-CBN's La Luna Sangre showcase, including a cast appearance, photo ops, panel discussion, exclusive footage, and and what's this? Stunt exhibits. What is La Luna Sangre?
You don't know what? Okay, it's an ABS-CBN show. It's. I'm trying to not compare it to Twilight, but yes, it's Twilight.
It's Philippine Twilight. Okay.
That's very mean, but it's a horror fantasy drama with vampires and werewolves. It has like Catherine Bernardo, Daniel Padilla, and Richard Gutierrez.
Are they in high school?
I have no idea. Sadly, I haven't seen the show.
Sadly, or fortunately, or unfortunately, you haven't seen the show. That's what you actually.
I've been holding. I did catch a clip earlier while we were researching, and well, local TV, still local TV, looks horrible. But who knows? Maybe it was written really well. I'm in the middle of catching up to On the Wings of Love that finished like a year or two ago.
Okay.
So far, so good.
Okay.
So-
To be fair, local TV has been. They have been stepping up to make all these more interesting series that they actually end, that they actually have a plot going on, and it doesn't run in circles. Like Provinciano being an example.
No, wait, no. The Provinciano has been running for what, 2 years, 3? As you were building up, I was gonna say. So basically, it's not the Provinciano.
I don't know. Okay, I just catch it like when I'm traveling through boats in certain provinces, and the production value looks pretty okay, aside from the lack of variation in shots. But all right, if you say so. Obviously, we both don't watch local TV that much. Anyway.
Oh no,
Yeah.
I have caught Provinciano, and actually, it's pretty okay. Again, I'm not very. It's local TV's not been my thing, but I do like giving it a try from time to time because I keep praying I find something I really like. Because come on, support local.
Okay, fair point.
I'm a very support local kind of guy, or I'm trying to be, because I felt the struggle of being a Filipino game developer in the Philippines. It was awful. So, for me, if it's made here, if it was made lovingly by like the people behind it,
in the earnest interest of furthering the medium, yeah, sure, we should appreciate it. I totally agree.
Yeah, so really, if this whole APCC thing by La Luna Sangre is their efforts of like broadening their audience, then by all means knock themselves out. Hopefully they do find some degree of success. 11 time slot?
Yeah.
Wix. Shoot. Man. You know what? That's a blast from the past for me, I think. Yeah, shoot. Cause this guy, man, I saw him in the announcements on Facebook, and I was like, I remember this guy.
Mm-hmm.
I used to follow him back in 2004, 2005 or something. Really amazing. I didn't know he was this famous now. And first thought that comes to mind is like, what the fuck have I been doing with my life?
Anyway, Jason Freeney, I believe that he's made a popular toy line of which involves an anatomical study of popular cartoon characters.
Yeah, he did like the Legos, the Hello Kitty. Well, no, he did a bunch, so I'm not even gonna list them down. But it's very fascinating.
Yeah, it's a very interesting take on your usually deformed cartoon characters to actually have an anatomy. Okay, so next we have Tyler Hoechlin, who was Superman in the Supergirl show. So is that sort of a secondary role, but I believe he also did something in Teen Wolf.
Yes, he did. Although I'm more familiar with him as Superman on Supergirl, because I actually watched Supergirl for a little bit on and off.
Sounds like this is one for the fangirls, because I believe Teen Wolf was popular with the fangirls. Not, at least I hear fangirls talk about it. Okay, Fight Saber Philippines, always a pleasure to watch. You'd rather just see it.
So they're Jedi weebs.
Yes, that is like the easiest way to put it in the Eastern sense.
I'm actually pretty excited now. If it turns out really bad, I'm gonna hate you forever. Sorry, I have a very high standard for Star Wars. Like, I love Star Wars, and
like I believe you both grew up as kids that at one point fantasized about wielding lightsabers and fighting with their siblings/friends on a playground or something. So this was just a dream come true, for like a childhood dream come true when I was watching it. Hey, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, that dream. I remember that dream. It kind of died somewhere. So good on people that hung on to that.
Okay. So moving on, we have Sky Cable with is this Contra P showcase? I guess that's just a promo.
Yeah, it's promo time. And then dance numbers and a live performance by Serena Kozuki.
All right.
So, familiar, please remind us who is.
Okay, so it's a Japanese name, so I'm supposed to answer. Is that it? Or, so the person's Japanese and I'm supposed to know. Is that it? But yes, I do know her. She sung the opening for Tenchi Muyo. She really worked hard as an idol in Japan. Like, and note that she sang for Tenchi Muyo, so that's kind of a hint of how long she's been on the scene. Other notable songs, not really too related to anime, so I don't think I can name any songs that would ring any bells for people.
Yeah, so I'm having a very hard time remembering the opening theme just because, yeah, ABS been like shortening those to like shove in as many commercials as they can in that runtime. Or if they're not doing that, they're tagalizing the opening song. So really, sometimes I just don't remember the opening songs of these shows because I never actually heard them.
Okay, the only team that did it right was IBC, the IBC localization team. IBC 13 did Ghost Fighter. IBC 13 did actually, that's all I need to tell you. IBC 13 did Ghost Fighter, and we will all remember them for it. Okay, 3 p.m. we're gonna have the Cosplay Authority Global Challenge, also known as Cage, with open category finals.
Yeah, who's judging?
We have 2 international guests for the cosplay competition. I think one is Pyeon Kim from Korea. The other one is from the US, I think. Oh, better check the notes.
Yeah, that's them.
And somebody from the local scene, that's gonna be Jin behind Infinity. A very popular cosplayer known for the Jin, who cosplayed Hero from Big Hero 6. That's what that cosplayer got really popular for.
I'm betting huge money that War Machine is there. That War Machine that's in every con with cosplay in it.
With a slight next evolution. Like first you had a War Machine plane, and then you had a War Machine with machine gun or something, and then a War Machine with a machine gun and lights. Slowly it's building up, so hopefully we'll have a transforming War Machine or something that turns into a Valkyrie or a plane. I'm not sure. It's a social media panel.
Okay, so I know one of these people. I used to go to college with her. Really friendly. The 3 of these guys are travel vloggers. So they go around the Philippines. They probably go around. They do go around the world. They post about it on social media. They make video blogs about it on YouTube. They're kind of famous now. They're pretty famous. So, man, I want to live like these people.
Vlogging, huh?
You know?
Like that's kind of another tangent. It feels like another tangential interest, like how ABS feels like a tangential interest to your usual, or to what I believe the APCC crowd would be. But we'll get to that later, I suppose. After that, we're gonna have a 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Netflix panel. Stranger Things cast appearance. Okay, I believe you've watched Stranger Things.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty excited about this. I missed last year where Millie Bobby Brown came around. Kind of sucks she's not here this year, but more of them this time around. So I think they have 2 of the veteran characters showing up, along with 2 new characters from this upcoming season. One of which was the Red Ranger from the recent Power Rangers movie. What was his name? Dacre Montgomery. Yeah, him. So I'm more jazzed about the Red Ranger coming because I have no idea who he's playing in Stranger Things.
Okay, so for a full R, you're gonna have these characters, these actors available for a panel talk, meaning people will probably be able to shoot questions at them. The audience will probably be able to shoot questions at them, and they get to answer, or maybe even requests. So that's probably gonna have a lot of colorful things happening.
I really just want them to sign something for me. Like, I have this friend, Meggie, and she's an artist. She made this artwork of Stranger Things, and I need a print from her. I want them to sign it. I will treasure it forever. I hope we get the opportunity to have that done.
I think that might be a possibility. I'll talk to you later. Okay. And finally, screening of Death Note at 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. It's a Netflix original title. Alright, for those of you who don't quite know what's going on with this, Netflix bought rights to produce their own movie of Death Note, the anime Death Note, and its live action, set in the US, where they pretty much nailed Ryuk's voice. I think I would say at least that much, because live action anime movies or anime adapted movies. The last thing that comes to mind is Dragon Ball. So
Look, they got Willem Dafoe to play Ryuk. That was perfect casting. As
But-
for everyone, you know what? I'll withhold judgment. You know, it might be a good show. It might be a trashy show. Who knows?
we'll see.
Net-
All right. Aside from that, we're gonna have some workshops on the second level. By the way, this is happening in SMX. Both APCCs before were in World Trade. This is the first time we've seen it in SMX, and they're occupying 2 floors apparently. We have Carl Potts, who's at 2 p.m. doing what's this? A comic seminar. Sorry, the print is so small on my computer. Comic seminar at 2 to 3 p.m. and Jin holding a cosplay tutorial at 5 to 5:45. Alright, so if you guys are interested in those, like that's your field of interest, totally go for it. Carl Potts, Ryan, do you know this guy?
You know what? If you guys are into comics, Carl Potts is probably one of the best people to talk to about it. He was one of the bigger comics personalities in the 80s and 90s. So,
Golden Age. One of the big guys during the Golden Age. Okay. That's a pretty big title already. So
yeah. And it's after that was Jin, right? And Jin is amazing with cosplay.
yeah, pretty established cosplayer. And considering that this cosplayer is local, should be able to address local issues for cosplayers in the Philippines.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of big international cosplay stars coming from the Philippines, and Jin happens to be one of them. And definitely Elodia, and I don't know who else.
Let's go on to the third day, Sunday. So APCC opening will be open at 11 a.m. Their main stage opens at 11 a.m. with a fight saber performance. A sponsor role by HP, featuring their Omen, the Omen PC. All right. So Acer comes up with Predator, and HP comes up with Omen. So what's the next brand to come up with the edgy name for gaming PCs?
I don't know, Dark Lord.
The Dell Dark Lord, the Sony, I don't know. Has to be edgy.
Don't understand me.
Okay, moving on. 11:30 to 12:15, we're gonna have a comic panel with Art Germ, Carl Potts, Rodney Ramos, and Wills Portacio.
Yeah,
That's
we have comics people here.
well, it is the Comic Con. It is Asia Pop Comic Con, so it makes a lot of sense. It doesn't make a lot of sense that it's only 45 minutes long. You have 4 people that artists will, or aspiring artists will probably want to talk to, and having them be divided with among 45 minutes, I don't know, man. I feel like that's gonna be a little short.
It's kind of shitty timing. Yeah, they kind of got shortchanged for the time here, but if I'm to be completely honest, Art Germ's done a lot of panels here in the country. Will's also a local star that makes it around the comics circuit. Great work, great body of work. Rodney Ramos, sad to say, I'm not very familiar, or no, maybe.
Okay.
Wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know who Rodney Ramos is. Okay, I would be interested in seeing this guy, definitely. So Rodney Ramos and Carl Potts, definitely worth it. I'm not sure 45 minutes is enough, but if you're a big comic book fan,
You're
definitely.
gonna be there, yeah. All right. Hall M, Marvel Showcase from 12:30 to 1:45. We have no idea what they're gonna showcase, but it's gonna be there. Okay. Next is gonna be the 2 to 2:30 p.m. slot. A cosplay panel session between Elodia Gosenfiel, Canvas Cosplay, Hayden Hazard, Jin, and Peon Kim. Now you have like 5 entities on a 30-minute slot. APCC, please. I guess a fair point is they also have slots during the previous day with either a photo session, an autograph session, or a workshop. So they probably already have a chance to communicate with their fans there. But I don't know, 30 minutes for like a Lodi. Like I can't imagine how many fans of a Lodi would be just trying to take up that entire 30-minute slot just because she's there.
You know, she does have an autograph session on Saturday, so there is a lot of fan interaction time.
Right. Anyway, moving on. We got 2:30 to 2:45 with HHE dance. I have no idea what this is. I googled it and I still don't get it. So I guess I'll just have to see it to believe it. Yeah. All right. Next is a 15-minute Saving Sally showcase. That's a tongue twister at 2:45 to 3. Like we needed to see this again, but okay.
3. It's not an airing. It's not. I don't think they're showing the movie. It's more of, I don't know, maybe a brief talk about how the movie was made, and I think it would be interesting because really, it was at the very least a very pretty movie.
Okay, I'll give it that. It was a show. It was a movie in the making that had to be shot all over again because something terrible happened with their casting or something. Something crippling to their production happened like on year 5. So they had to do it.
It had to be replaced.
Yeah. So it's strongly a passion project, and maybe there's a better chance for them to share that passion and be able to give advice about how to go through these projects.
Yeah. The movie did come out. It did very well. A lot of people liked it. So, it would be very interesting to hear more about how the movie, what the experiences of the people involved were. Because, a lot of things happened during the production of this movie. And I think anybody aspiring to create a passion project, whether it's film, video games, comics, whatever, would benefit hearing from their experiences.
Okay. Alright. That is a pretty good point. Next, we're gonna have a short concert, 15 minutes. Yeah, with Slapshot from Predator Philippines.
It's edgy, and I don't know, nothing says edgy more than Slapshot. I'd like Slapshot.
But I'd like to see them. Nevertheless, I think they're a great band. All right. Next is the what seems to be the juicy ones. We're gonna have a 45-minute panel with Yaku Space, 45 conversation with Yaku Space, and another one followed right after, same amount of time, Ray Fisher. That's from 3:30 to 5 p.m. Is this gonna be the drinking game?
I need healing.
You mentioned some time ago during the reveal that what we were gonna do, a Genji drinking game.
Oh, we're totally doing a Genji drinking game. I actually hope they sell alcohol in APCC.
I doubt it, but okay.
They were selling beer at HistoryCon. I really, really hope they do the same thing in Asia Pop. But I may have to sneak some in because, to anyone interested, we are doing a drinking game.
Okay, go on.
Simple. We stand very close to his booth where he does his signings or whatever. We take a shot anytime someone shouts, "I need healing, Mada Mada," or "Give me another Genji line."
No, those two are pretty much it. I need healing and Mada Mada.
Alright, so we do 1 shot for that. We do 2 shots whenever a Mercy cosplayer drops by. Or do we make it Overwatch cosplayer that drops by 2 shots?
2 shots.
All right. Um, 3 shots for any Overwatch cosplayer that tries to do any romantic advances. So, be it like Murphy getting all sweet on Genji, or maybe Hanzo doing the whole big brother loving thing, then 3 shots for that.
I need to protect my liver, man.
YOLO.
All right, for those of you who want to join,
I do hope we don't get in trouble for this.
we'll totally get in trouble for it.
In case we do, that's another depth to the game where we try to get drunk and not get caught.
I'm striking this from the record. Anyway. Ray Fisher. Actually, despite our searches, Ray Fisher doesn't seem to have any prior performances aside from the upcoming Cyborg for the Justice League movie.
Yeah, Ray Fisher's mainly had a career in Broadway and a lot of stage plays in general, so he's a very fresh face to film.
So, look, this is probably a great opportunity to get to know him. And looking forward to, hopefully, a great DC movie.
Sorry, I heard a chuckle there. I was like, ooh, DC.
Anyway,
I mean, we had Wonder Woman, not for Wonder Woman, but
does Dark Knight count? Does Dark Knight count? I think Dark Knight counts.
it's been so. That was a long time ago.
Okay, fine.
So I don't know if that still counts. DC's been facing an uphill battle with their movies, and the only recent success to date is Wonder Woman. Hopefully, Justice League rights the ship on this problem. Hopefully.
Okay, so after that, at 5 p.m. we're gonna have the Game of Thrones pageant by Sky Cable. That's actually pretty interesting. I am actually interested in what they'll be featuring. Hopefully, dragons are involved.
I'm imagining like beauty queens in Game of Thrones garb parading around the stage.
That's just boring. I hopefully better than that. Hopefully, you come up with something better than that.
No. It finishes with massacre. It can't be Game of Thrones without massacre. Someone has to die.
Okay. Okay. Now you're talking.
Right? So someone definitely has to die here. Otherwise, I call shit. I mean, how much time are they using for this? 45 minutes. Come on. If nobody dies here, then it's a waste of my time.
All right. Okay. 30 minutes. After that, like 5:45 to 6:15, we're gonna have the cage finals for kids category, which makes me wonder if they sell Happy Meals as well. If there's a kids category for the cosplay, what's going on?
I'd go for this just for the cute.
Pretty cute. But are you having a dad face?
No, but it would probably be entertaining to watch the crowd collectively go anytime someone comes out. Unless these kids are the no longer cute kinds, alam mo yung mga nasa around 7 or 10 years old, or I don't know, approaching their tweens or something.
All right, so there's gonna be the. All right, so we're gonna have Serena Kuosuki after that, 6:15 to 7 p.m. Gonna be singing a bunch of her songs. That's pretty long, 45 minutes.
Oh, right.
But
the show before that, the day before that.
I hope she can handle it. Yeah, that's at least like 4 or 5 songs. After that, we have a Calbee showcase. What? 15 minutes. Like, you guys hungry? At 7 p.m. Well, do we have the answer for you?
I like.
Okay, and finally, they're gonna end the Cosplay Authority Global Challenge. With as the final event, 7:15 to 7:30, and that's gonna be the closing of APCC. And with that, we've concluded. We've gone through the entire program and given our comments and maybe informed our audience about what's going on. And that took longer than I thought.
Dude, we haven't talked about this one very important thing about the event, which he did mention at the top of the APCC topic, and that is Shoji Kawamori.
Yes, Shoji Kawamori. Okay, I guess I was a little tired, but he's not in the main program. But
Yeah,
he
we have
is.
not-
He
he's
is.
not in the program. We
he's-
have to talk about this. Shoji Kawamori.
So
Please,
yeah.
our audience, please know who Shoji is.
Okay, Shoji Kawamori is responsible for the initial design of Optimus Prime, also responsible for Starscream, which also makes sense when you realize he's behind Macross, which is known as Robotech in the US. Not entirely as a creator, but more of a mecha designer. So if you ever saw an aircraft transform into a robot and then was wowed by it, it's his fault. You should go see him and thank him for this miracle.
Should also thank him for the very special 2000 anime AKB0048.
There are times when a creator creates something that we would question. These people are human. Stop judging. Alright?
You actually question this? He did do Macross.
He did Macross, which is robots and idols, and it's amazing.
Yeah, and AKB0048 is South Spoken Idol.
I don't think they have robots there, but yes, it's about idols. Yes. Okay, can we stop talking about AKB now?
No, I kind of want to talk about AKB some more.
No, you don't. You just want to torment me.
No. Here's the thing.
What?
One other exhibitor for APCC is MNL48.
Oh shit! Oh yeah, you're right. Like, they're there. Is this gonna be kind of awkward? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so for anyone that hasn't heard or hasn't driven by EDSA in a while, there's this thing called MNL48 that started sometime maybe last year, which is promoted to be the official sister group of AKB48 in the Philippines. So when it came out, they made a huge fuss over it. There are billboards everywhere, buses, highways, buildings of MNL48, and how they're doing this whole, what do you call it, public audition online, where you could sign up and campaign yourself to be one of the first members of MNL48. Now, after they launched that website,
Nothing.
They disappeared, right? I've not heard anything from them since that website.
Yeah, that's true. Like, of course, there's gonna be like 1,000 joke entries in that website, but no announcement as to who the first few will be, when they're gonna pick when they're gonna pick them, if they have a suspect amount of entrants, nothing.
Yeah, they announced that they were going to have a booth in APCC, but made no mention about announcing their pool of aspirants, nothing, which sucks because I'd really like to know if the Guru made the cut.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I don't know what they're planning to do there. Are they planning to sell merchandise so that you can be a fan of a idol group that has yet to exist? I don't know. That's...
why would I ask for merch? Like, I don't even know who's in it. Like, maybe if they tell me, hey, the Guru is part of MNL48, then maybe, yeah.
Alright.
Maybe.
Well, we do have a few oddball sponsors from APCC that we didn't expect to see there. ABS-CBN, Calbee.
There's a meet and greet with Moreto and Joshua Garcia.
What?
There is a meet and greet time
For-
slot. Julia Barreto and Joshua Garcia.
So that's happening? Alright.
That's happening. I don't even know what show they're on.
You know, I'm not sure about this whole thing APCC seems to be trying to do. Trying to spread... I guess they're trying to spread their wings in a way, trying to broaden their reach. But I believe that APCC was originally aimed at at the Philippine audience that are fans of Western shows, Game of Thrones, Marvel movies, Adventure Time, these kinds of things. So,
Well, I mean, it does say Comic Con on its name, but you know what? It's just this thing people use these days. It doesn't necessarily mean it's about comics anymore, right?
like how ToyCon isn't about ToyCon. Such betrayal. Top 10 anime betrayals.
So, APC's labeled as a pop culture convention, so it's well beyond comics itself. It covers a lot of stuff. So, I think it's in their best interests to broaden what they offer. Basically try to capture a bigger market than they do, because a lot of conventions in recent memory sink due to a lack of interest from the public. So, I think it's good on them to try out something new.
Okay. Fair point. I mean, you saw me fagging about Shoji Kawamori. You saw me like fagging about Genji. So that you do raise a fair point. But isn't it true that like all the other conventions, pretty much like there are so many other conventions that answer these needs, right? Like, what are they? Maybe this is approaching a ground where they start not having an identity that makes them stick out.
Here's the thing. Like I told you before, there are a lot of specialty conventions out there that specialize in just anime, just specialize in cosplay. I would not go to any of these because honestly, I don't cosplay for shit. So, maybe prepubescent me would have gone there to gawk at girls in skirts and stuff, but I'm too old for this stuff, and really the travel is just horrible. So, I think I prefer my convention like this, all in one, basically. I want my conventions to just have a variety of stuff on it. I want it to provide like new and exciting stuff that I normally would not touch, because that HistoryCon taught. Yeah, Asia Pop Comic Con.
All right.
It's the World Trade Center, right?
Yeah, one of the biggest reasons that it's on my radar is Shoji Kawamori, obviously.
Wait, I'm not just walking around looking at stuff I can't afford. I don't know if you know.
Yeah, okay.
And like I said, a lot of these conventions, you have a lot of speakers, you have a lot of stores, you have artists in the artist alley. They're usually, and the cosplayer, yes, the War Machine. It's always the same people. So it never hurts to mix things up. So you know what? If you tell me La Luna Sangre is having this panel, then cool. I've not seen the show. Maybe you can check out the panel and something changes my mind.
All right. So yeah, why not? Instead of doing the same thing over and over again, expecting to get the same positive results all the time, I guess you should try to revamp yourself every now and then. I can't really contest this opinion.
And well, there's this other thing I want to raise. I went to this one convention earlier this year. It was called Denki Megatech Convention, and I think what I wanted to focus was mecha. I think it was a mecha interest. Mecha.
Yep, completely mecha interest. Yes.
Yeah. So basically, if you're into robots or anime robots or whatever, this was supposed to be the huge con for that. I was there that day for work. I was one of the exhibitors.
Mm-hmm.
It was boring 2 days. There were no people there.
Alright, yeah, Denki Megatech was a convention that's a bad example of what a convention would become, because I think it got delayed like 3 times or something, and if you're delayed like 2 times, that's a super bad sign already. So
Well, I don't really know if it was a management problem or a marketing problem because a lot of people I said didn't never even heard of the event. So I don't know. Personally, I think they had a lot of good things on offer. They had very good stores. They were giving away a lot of really nice swag. That was the first time Indigo Entertainment came out with Garrison Archangel for the public to play, and it
yes,
uh,
it's great.
there were versus tournaments. I think the event, for the size of the venue, actually offered a lot of promise. It's just that nobody showed up.
Nah, like next con. Man. All right.
So-
Okay.
So I've heard a lot of cons underperform. Maybe because they're focusing on too small of a market. Now, there may be a lot of people into these things, but like I said, it's hard to get around.
That's
It's hard to get around. And the place may not be accessible in the first place. Maybe you live too far away. Maybe you have work on that day. So, I guess as an organizer, I would be afraid on focusing on one single market for this big event. So instead, I'm gonna try to broaden my reach, try to reach as many people as possible, and hopefully attract more ticket sales that way. So I think that's what APCC is going for. I think that's what HistoryCon went for, and I think HistoryCon did do sort of well. Although there were one or two scandals I heard of that happened last night from another friend. There were
Okay.
some management issues with his con. So
Okay. Those never run out. I mean, there's the whole other thing with Ozine and Toku Spirits that we're gonna cover later on when we have the full information for the press conference. Like, management issues never run out. They will always be there.
So, yeah, despite like the problems that came up, I think HistoryCon did very well for itself, and I think it sets a bar for how major conventions should aspire for, and I think APCC can reach for that.
All right, so yeah, I can see where you're coming from. I mean, there's the two other conventions that I would name that have either died out because of lack of interest or insustainability. So that would be NextCon, which had a pretty bad showing last year, and we don't have any word of it happening this year. And then there's Voca Fusion, which happened a bunch of years ago. Did super great. It was a great convention, but it just couldn't seem to sustain itself for a regular thing to happen. Either because of organization or because of budget. I didn't dig into details too much. But yeah, that's what I understand.
No, please explain to me what Voca Fusion is. What happened during those events?
Oh, okay. Voca Fusion is a... How should I put this? Voca Fusion is a Vocaloid community. If you're aware of Hatsune Miku and such, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so Hatsune Miku, Luca Megurune, all those characters that sing and dance, they're in 3D. They're part of the Vocaloid program, which is a synthesizer for vocals. There's a group, that's a singer group or a singer community that came out of that, and that started in Japan, spread to other countries, the Philippines included. Now there's always a Vocaloid cosplay somewhere in anime conventions, but there's never been a Vocaloid based convention, and that's how it came around. The local community wanted it to happen, and they went so far as to expose their own money towards getting the convention to happen and getting guests that are pretty good or that are great headlines for that kind of convention to come around. Yeah, so I guess I answered a few of my questions regarding that. They really bent over backwards to make the thing happen, and the fact that they had to is probably a good sign that it was not going to be very sustainable.
Okay, yeah. I didn't even realize there was a big enough community for Vocaloid.
They occupied one of the SMX convention halls.
One of them. So yeah, it attracted a lot of visitors.
Yeah, it attracted. I can't tell you the exact numbers, but it was a single convention hall, so it was subdivided, and it was always full. It even had Team Labas going on, so yeah. Yes, for those not in the know, Team Labas is a budget as a community, I guess you could call it that regularly meet outside the convention hall instead of actually paying to go in. Let's just leave it at that. The other one, NextCon, is a completely Western fan base focused convention. Comics, movies, that sort of stuff. Well, that's pretty much it. Comics, movies, and TV shows. Doctor Who, Avengers, Star Wars, Star Trek, Welcome to Night Vale, those things. They had, yeah,
basically not your field of interest.
Not my field of interest, like at all. But it did catch some. It did catch some attendees. Unfortunately, they didn't seem to keep coming back. So maybe the interest wasn't strong enough. Maybe.
Yeah. So I guess that's it. I mean, we have so many conventions running once a year, and a lot of them were underwhelming, at least the ones I went to, which really turned me away from these things several years ago.
I would say that on the counterpoint, conventions that have completely transformed themselves into something else, that's also kind of dangerous. I mean, look at ToyCon 2017. Look at Ozine lately. Like, what do you even go to for Ozine these days?
Well,
so,
I went to ToyCon 2 years ago or a year ago, I forget. But yeah, it was hugely underwhelming for me. I guess maybe I'm just not target market, or I just really don't like getting out.
Okay, ToyCon is originally a vendors convention where you just sell each other your toys, or sell. It's a giant bazaar. That's what that's what it originally is, and now it was trying to transform itself into a pop culture event, which tried to invite these guests and everything, and they just didn't seem to have the resources or something to get it all together. It was kind of strange. It just keeps trying to get bigger, but it's really not meant to do that on the base of what it is originally. So, that's I guess there's got to be a balance between the two.
Well, I guess my thoughts on the matter are they're shifting towards something, maybe because what was working, what they were doing before wasn't working. Like, I don't know, maybe attendance was very bad last year, that's why they're trying something new this year. Or I don't know, maybe you saw someone else do something and they're like, hey, I want to do that.
Alright.
But yeah, it's interesting. Some old conventions seem to be trying new things, and you know what? I think as long as they strive to provide the audience something new, then the audience wins every time.
Totally agree. Right now, I have high hopes for APCC. They have gone above and beyond what I expected them to do, and have even tapped into my kind of market to bring people like to basically bring weebs in. And Shoji Kawamori is a huge pull, I guarantee. Gaku Space, who is Genji, and one of the characters in Assassin's Fist, the Street Fighter movie, that's also going to be a huge pull for gamers. So this diversifying of the tastes will probably be a good thing. But I also would say that they need to be careful of not losing what they originally really are about.
Oh, I think they do still have that covered. I mean, they do still have guests from Western shows like Stranger Things. They still have Marvel, which was, stalwart from last year as well. So I don't think they actually lost anything this year. They kind of just gained more material to work with.
Okay. Well, yeah, I think that's pretty much where we're going to end it regarding all this convention talk, and looking forward to APCC. Is there like anything you'd like to add before we wrap this up?
If any of you are coming to APCC on Saturday, please look for us. Please bring a bottle of whiskey. Hide it.
I'm pretty sure the security is gonna kick them out for it, Anyway, but if you manage to hide it, congratulations, you're pretty good at hiding it. Anyway, thanks, Rai, for joining me for what we thought would be a 30-minute talk into a 1 minute and 40-minute talk regarding various things, starting with a PC game about North Korea versus esports, and now ending with what we believe is the direction conventions are taking from this point at 2017. So for those of you who enjoyed this talk, thank you very much for listening in. For those of you who want to share a few thoughts, do contact us and follow us on the usual social media so you can see how we improve and work on getting better at this. Again, I'm Lentropy. Thank you for joining us, and this is Rai. Are you going to go with an online handle, or just going to go with Rai Forever?
Rai Forever works.
Okay.
So,
Rai Forever. All right. Again, thank you for listening, and good night, guys. Catch you next time.